Here we have Harley wife eating her delicious breakfast sandwich. Say hi, Harley wife.
Hey guys, it's HarleyWood. Welcome back. All right, just about a week and a half ago, we took a look at the X300, specifically the turbo version from Surefire, and we compared it to the new PL Turbo from Olight. In that video, I was quite hard on this light, and in doing due diligence, I went out and got myself what I call another industry darling. This is the Streamlight TLR-1 HL model, and today we're going to compare these two and see how the Surefire and the Streamlight compare. All right, so we're going to start this one out the same way we did with the previous comparison. We're going to talk about the price. All right, just a reminder, I did buy this guy off of Amazon. It was $359 or something like that with shipping and tax. I paid just shy of $400 for this. Now, by contrast, the TLR-1 is about $255 depending on where you shop. Again, add shipping and tax to that, you're probably out the door for a little south of $300. So almost $400, almost $300. Now, if we look at the lenses on the two of these, you can see that the Streamlight has a TIR lens in there, while the Surefire just has a really deep reflector in it. All right, so in terms of lumens, the Streamlight puts out 1,000, the Surefire puts out 650. The Streamlight only has 20,000 candela, where the Surefire has 66,000 candela. Now you'll see that here in the outdoor footage in just a minute. The Streamlight is going to have a lot more flood. It's going to cast much more light into the peripheral, while the Surefire is going to have a more dedicated and focused hotspot, so it's going to reach out a lot further. And the specs will reflect that a little bit. The throw on the Streamlight is only 283 meters compared to the Surefire, which is 514 meters. Now personally, especially on a pistol light, maybe some guys put these on rifles, I don't know. On a pistol light, I don't know that you need to light something up at 500 meters. All right, what I would probably be more concerned with was the immediate area around you. That candela is really nice. You'll see it almost washes the barn out here in a second on the Surefire, but there's also an argument to be made for all of the flood on the Streamlight, right? So when you see this outdoor footage, you're just gonna have to kind of choose which one suits you best. All right, here we go. First, the Streamlight. So for frame of reference, that barn building that you see back there is 61 yards from where I'm standing, and it is 14 feet tall at the peak. So it kind of gives you an idea of the size of a hot spot when I do these light comparisons. Way back in the darkness back there, if you're familiar with my channel, I usually say a white spot. Well, it's now a yellow spot. Big thanks to Caldwell Targets for sending that out. So that is a yellow steel target at 101 yards. Again, that is the Streamlight. Let's move that out of the way and bring in the Surefire. So Surefire is on the right, Streamlight is on the left. Surefire has a much tighter hotspot, so look at that target at 101 yards. Streamlight has way more spill. Surefire, Streamlight. Surefire, Streamlight. Very different approaches on these two. So this one is the Surefire, and you can see it has that kind of laser focus. Move that off to the side, and there is the Streamlight. A lot more spill on this thing. Has no problem reaching out to that 101 yards. Obviously, the Surefire doesn't. So it gives you kind of an idea of what to expect between these two. All right, now in terms of runtime, they're both powered by two CR123A batteries. They both have an hour and a half of runtime. That is superior to the Olight because the Olight, and that is continuous runtime, all right? The Olight has a step down mode after a couple minutes where it goes into kind of a thermal protection and it dims down to about, I think it's 400 or 450 lumens. Now that's still plenty of usable light. Olight is getting a lot better in that regard. And in fact, I had a couple representatives who came from Olight to my house. We spent about 5 hours going over some new prototypes and some pros and some cons. And that was the biggest thing that I encouraged them was stop that step down stuff. I don't understand why Streamlight and Surefire can do continuous for 90 minutes, and yours has to go into the step down. And so they were very receptive to that. We'll see if they incorporate some changes in a future edition. So they both utilize kind of this thumb screw method here. They both clamp onto the rail. They're so very similar in terms of how they mount up. And let's talk about the switches on these. So again, I gave the Surefire a really hard time for this switch. The switch is just very sticky. So you have to apply quite a bit of pressure, and then it kind of just pops into the on position. And then to turn it back off, again, a lot of pressure, and it typically over-indexes, well, it did there, you can see it's still on. It typically over-indexes and shoots into the upward position, turning it right back on again, especially single-handed operation. If you're doing this two-handed operation and you're toggling back and forth with your thumb and your trigger finger, probably not a huge deal, but if you're trying to do one-handed operation of this switch is absolute garbage. And in fact, there's some aftermarket switches because so many people have complained about these. Now, I have seen on some forums where people say, hey, open the back up, and then underneath this little set screw, or underneath the sticker is a screw where you could take this back off and you could shave down a piece of that toggle mechanism in there. And I'm like, for almost 400 bucks, why should I have to disassemble and shave down a part of my switch? Like, they really need to fix that. That switch is absolute garbage. Now, Streamlight, on the other hand, nailed it, all right? So it has a similar toggle switch on the back side here, but if you toggle down on this side, it is full power, and if you press back up, even if you over-index, it's only momentary, and it pivots back to the middle and shuts itself off. On the other side, up is full on, and again, if you're shutting it off one-handed, you see it didn't over-index, very light pressure, it switches right back off. And again, even if you over-index and you go too far down because it gets stuck, it only goes to momentary and it shuts right back off as soon as the pressure is released. Much, much better switch on the Streamlight. I honestly regret spending as much as I did for this. This becomes kind of just Instagram candy at this point because so many people think this is the industry standard. Is it battle proven? Again, I kind of went over that in my previous video. I don't know what the definition of battle proven is. Does it just mean it's been in some battles? Okay, sure. Is it widely used by police and law enforcement? Yeah, of course. I believe this is also. I see much more of this on the gram. I don't know if that translates to real world applications, but this is far superior in my opinion. I'll let you guys decide. You call it. What do you guys think? Do you go for the Streamlight? Do you go for the Surefire? Do you save 100 bucks, go with a little bit less candela and a better switch for sure? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. I'm going to put links to where you can get both of these down in the description. If you like this video, do me a favor, give it a like down below, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate your time watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one.